Hi, my name is Monique Toe, and I'm the founder of the Yogic Diet. And this is my friend Ronnie, and she is going to join me today to cook a wonderful vegan, whole food, plant-based dish. So, Ronnie, I have been cooking a lot more since I've gone whole food, plant-based. I was mostly vegetarian for 25 years. But like my body never felt exactly right. I felt bloated. I would have weight gain. But going whole food plant based, I actually feel amazing. And also, of course, eating with mindfulness. And lastly, practicing yoga a bit more regularly helps as well. So anyway, our intention for this video is that we honor ourselves with nourishing food, and because we are sacred and you are sacred. So one way to honor ourselves with nourishing food is actually just to cook, right? Because in this day and age, we're not always getting around to that. So I'll tell you a quick story. So yesterday, I was getting ready to cook, and sometimes we're not that inspired, but I was like, you know what? This is actually one of my sacred offerings that I do for myself and my family. And somehow I just connected with the sacredness of it. And I was like, okay. And I made a whole food plant-based lasagna that had marinated mushrooms and a creamy cashew sauce.
Oh my God.
It was delicious.
That's amazing.
So I put my whole heart into it. And when my daughter and my husband and I sat down to eat, they said nice things like, yeah, that's really good. But it was a little later in the meal, my daughter said, do you know, not a lot of my friends are getting home-cooked meals. And I really appreciate you, Mom. I really appreciate that you're cooking.
So sweet.
Yeah, you're cooking this beautiful food, and I just really am grateful. And it was almost like me realizing how sacred the act of cooking was led to this sweetness from my daughter. It was like really connected, you know? So anyway, today we're gonna make a General Tso's soy curls. Have you heard of soy curls before?
So I haven't. I know my General Tso's. I've had that at my fast food, typical Chinese restaurant, but I have not ever had it with soy curls or soy in general. So
okay,
I'm excited.
So let me show you what these are. They're Butler's soy curls, and they're single ingredient, just soybeans, right? And they're dehydrated, and then so you have to soak them before you cook them. And today we're going to soak them in a marinade. So check those out.
Look at that, and there's really just one ingredient, which is it's whole non-GMO soybeans. And you can see right here, it says 100% natural, no preservatives, no additives. And I'll just say this, Monique, I kind of had, for the longest time, stayed away from soy. And I think that's also partly due to the media talking about soy and just saying, stay away.
Right.
How do you what are your thoughts around preparing soy for your family?
Right. Well, soy has been eaten in Asia for the last 9,000 years. Okay. And it's commonly in baby formula. It's commonly prescribed for women going through menopause. Soy is actually a fairly healthy food. The problem is all the processed soy products that are out there, right? So let's say you become vegan or vegetarian and you want to go get like a, fake burger meat or whatever, right? And it's going to have a lot of processed soy in it.
Okay.
Right? But what you want to do is try to go for the as minimally processed as possible, like edamame, right? Or tofu, like that is organic tofu, or tempeh, or these soy curls. Those would be your best bet. And you can eat them, and you can also drink soy milk. And I just saw a study that said that women who are drinking milk can reduce their chances of getting breast cancer by 80% by drinking soy milk instead. So that's pretty amazing.
Wow, that really is amazing. And you can buy, I believe you can buy this at a local store. Where did you get these at?
Well, I actually got these online on Amazon. I'm sure you can also go to the Butler website, but I haven't seen these widely available, and so this is also a recent recipe that I found that I'm excited about making.
I can't wait. I love Chinese food, so I am excited for something easy and delicious.
Okay, let's get cooking. All right, so what are we going to do first, Ronnie?
So first step is mix the marinade and add soy curls and mix and soak for 10 to 15 minutes. Toss twice in between so all soy curls are marinated well.
Okay, so by the way, I just want to say a shout out to Vegan Richa. She's a young Indian lady that I follow for her recipes, and she's amazing. So anyway, I got this recipe from her. And so let's
also, can I just say that the name of this recipe is the Vegan General Tso's Soy Curls, and Monique's last name is To, and I'm just going to call this the Vegan General Tso's Soy Curl. So let's get this going. So we make the marinade.
Yeah, let's make the marinade. All right.
So the marinade is a total, so we've got rice wine that we're going to add.
Okay.
4 teaspoons. Great. We've got, and we use sake instead of rice, or sake is rice.
Well,
right?
yeah, it was calling for rice wine, but I ran out. So we're just going to use sake.
Perfect.
And then this is just vegetable broth.
Okay.
So
then I'm going to add some rice vinegar.
And it calls for 6 to 8 tablespoons of coconut sugar. 6 is good. I would even go 5 because it is kind of sweet, but anyway, it's delicious. So just make it.
Perfect. 3 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil.
And then the last one is a sambal. So it's like a chili garlic sauce.
I love it. I love a good spice.
Okay, so we would be ready to go ahead and put you forgot the soy sauce.
Oh, and the soy sauce.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is about half a cup of soy sauce. It's a low sodium soy sauce. Okay.
I'm just gonna get the last little bits out here. And then we're gonna cut some garlic and some ginger. So if you want to cut these, and then I'll cut this.
Perfect. So I've got 6 cloves of minced garlic that I need to chop. And then you're cutting about how much ginger?
Yeah.
4 teaspoons of ginger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you take the skin out?
You don't have to take the skin out, actually. So, but sometimes it's just nicer. But what do? Do you take the skin off?
Sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes.
When I make chai, I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I just smash it.
So Monique,
Tell me.
I've got a question about, the plant-based lifestyle. What, for me, I don't eat plant-based all the time, but I don't mind vegan food. I know that you've been, eating the plant-based lifestyle for a number of years now. Why did you choose it?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, it's a series of events, really. I was vegetarian on and off for, like I said, almost 25 years. And I just felt like, I never got the food thing right exactly, because I always felt like bloated, or I gained weight easily, or I don't know if I ever told you, but I have struggled with an eating disorder also.
Okay.
So like I've had some work to do in the whole food and body realm, but last, was a while back that a series of events happened. There were 2 people at my husband's office that were like had stage 4 cancer, and their doctors said that there was nothing else that they could really do for them. Like they'd done the chemo, they'd done the radiation, they'd done the surgeries, and they went plant-based. One was a guy's daughter and one was a guy, and they both got well.
On a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like I just started also like seeing more and more things in the media about a plant-based diet. I have to say I'm not really drawn to the word vegan, like
Sure.
It seems like a bit crunchy or out there or something to me, but actually I'm vegan now. And I really love it.
You're enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what this dish looks amazing. I feel like every vegan dish I've had thus far that you've made has been amazing. So we'll see.
Well, also I'm a yogi, right? For like 25 years now, and I meditate every day, and I don't know if you know, but in yoga philosophy, there's something called a sattvic diet. And so like a sattvic diet is mostly like, it's like a plant-based diet. And it's supposed to bring you serenity, peace of mind, good health and happiness. And then there's a rajasic diet, which is like processed food and coffee and sugar, and it's kind of overstimulating, right? And
which is like the general diet that everybody has and eats for the most part.
Well, yeah,
right?
Exactly.
What I would have done for so long.
And then there's a tamasic diet, which is a lot of meat and oil and heavy foods.
Got it.
Right? And that's supposed to even make you feel like sort of just depressed. And, like you can just imagine like Homer Simpson in his underwear just sitting there like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
Right.
Kind
of feeling lethargic and brain dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
And so we're aiming for sattvic.
Yeah, we want
to lifestyle.
Sattvic life. Exactly.
Got it.
So if you want to open up the soy curls.
And here's all the garlic. I'm going to add that in. Okay. Now open it. I have to admit, this is my first time even looking at a soy curl.
Are these cold or are they from a freezer?
No, they're just room temperature, right?
They're room temperature, so they're just on a shelf, and you can buy these and you just rehydrate them.
Super cool. Okay, and so we just add this into here. Okay. Okay, beautiful.
So just you want to mix these in a little bit.
Perfect.
And the recipe says like every, 4 or 5 minutes we're going to mix them up again so that we can make sure that everybody gets to marinate.
And it's like the sauce itself is not very thick. It's kind of it's kind of loose. It's not a very viscous, so it's really soaking in.
Right.
And taking in the moisture that the soy curls are.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay.
I mean, really, to me, it already kind of looks like chicken. And when I made this for my family the other day, it also has that kind of chewy texture. It's fun to chew,
Also, the smell's amazing.
Does it?
It has like that umami and then a little bit of that spicy sweetness that you would get from a General Tso's. I mean,
yeah,
General Tso's.
General Tso's.
It's amazing. So what do we do after this once it's fully?
Yeah, so we're just going to let this sit for a while, and we'll come and stir it every once in a while.
Perfect.
All right, so now we're going to cut some veggies. So we're gonna cut green onions, zucchini, carrot, and it called for red, but I had orange bell peppers. So and a green bell
We
pepper.
love all our colored.
We love everything.
Okay.
Yes. So in the recipe, it says to like keep the whites for this part of the dish, the frying,
Okay.
the stir fry, and we'll keep a lot of the greens for a garnish. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'll let you start on those.
And just like thin slices.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That over here. So then kind of going back to the sattvic diet and just sattvic lifestyle, is that the premise behind the work that you do with the yogic diet? Or is there more to the program?
In my program, we work on like incorporating more plants, and I try to do a gentle ramp up. So maybe 1 day a week plant-based, and then like building up 2 days a week. So because it can be a lot of fiber to your system for one, and also just like kind of takes time to make dietary changes.
It takes time to cook too, especially people who don't cook often.
Exactly.
Getting used to that kind of routine.
Exactly. I mean, there are plenty of vegan options out in the world. There's even, Impossible Burgers, but I'm trying, the whole food plant-based is slightly different from vegan because whole food plant-based, like for example, did you know Oreos are vegan?
Are they?
Yeah, like Doritos, maybe not the cheddar ones, but a lot of common things on the shelf are vegan, but that doesn't mean they're healthy foods, right?
Right.
They're still really processed. So a whole food plant-based diet is really the whole foods. So
that's like the most important piece out of the entire, just making sure that it's a whole ingredient and less processed.
Yeah, so I would say in terms of priority about food, you want to try to go towards whole food plant-based, like fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, lentils, minimally processed soy, right? But then, we're all gonna, have a little processed food or have cake or once in a while, right?
Yeah,
but I think it's like trying to eat the most of our food as whole food plant-based, and it can really, really be delicious. But you were asking me about my program. So my program, yes, is about incorporating this kind of whole food plant-based diet, but also I work with mindfulness and eating.
Okay.
So trying to teach people to eat slowly, breathe.
When I eat, you guys, I am gulping my meal. Like in between, whether it's during a meeting or, I don't know, just any time during the day, I'm just so used to eating quickly.
Yeah.
And I always find that I'm bloated or I don't feel good and I'm still digesting my food. And so there is a level of like being mindful that's like, I think, important.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not perfect at it either. I have been, I'm healed from binge eating disorder. It took therapy. I didn't even know I had an eating disorder until I was in my mid-30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I took my yoga teacher training in Singapore and learned about a sattvic diet. And I came back to where I was living in Indonesia, and I started teaching the yogic diet. And all these women were working with me. I had women lose 20 pounds. I had people who went from drinking 8 cups of coffee a day, and I would, work with them, and they'd get down to 1. I had people who were drinking alcohol every night. And I was like, okay, can we just get to the weekends? Because that's also, alcohol's tamasic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I helped people. And during that process, I was journaling a lot, and I started to finally realize, oh my gosh, I have a binge eating disorder. And I've had it since I was about 10 or 11 years old.
And what do you mean by like that when you say binge eating disorder, Monique?
Yeah, so, you know, you and I have talked about this stuff before.
Yeah.
It's different than like, we all overeat.
Right.
Right?
Because, yeah, exactly.
We all like eat to the point that we're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that, right?
Right. I have a bad day and I tend to like, I go for fries, I grab a burger, I eat a pizza.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Well, I think the difference is binge eating is more like an alcoholic or a drug addict, in the sense that I would eat to numb myself. And I didn't obviously consciously realize that, but I was stuffing my face with food, maybe like standing in the fridge, you know, and I remember the first time I did it, I was like 10 years old, and I was eating one cold hot dog after another. And I mean, I grew up with a lot of trauma, a lot of family problems, and I think I also grew up in a household of addiction. And they say that addicts go on to become addicts because you grew up in this energy where it's like very up and down. Someone is high and then they crash, and then they're high and then they crash. So a lot of children of addicts tend to recreate that
in their own life.
Yeah.
So that volatility just is a repeat.
Right.
Wow.
Because they're like, I grew up with this, and like if things are going if things are going fine, I better throw a wrench into it, right?
Gotcha. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. So I was sort of numbing myself with food, and I didn't even realize it, like I said, until I was in my mid-30s. And the sad thing is, once I realized it, I couldn't stop. I filled out journal after journal after journal. I prayed, I chanted, I meditated, and I was like, I couldn't. It's like, just because I figured it out, I couldn't force it away. I couldn't stop it. So, so yeah, it's really intense, because it's like, it was a big problem. But finally, do you know how I finally healed it? Yes, I did the therapy. Yes, I did the meditation. Yes, I did the intentions and the praying. And finally, after we moved back to the US, I decided to let it go. I stopped weighing myself, because it was not just the binge eating, it was also vanity and wanting to be thin.
Right.
And it's that combination, you know? So I stopped weighing myself, and I let it go completely, Ronnie. Like, I just decided, that's it. I'm gonna eat whatever. And I put on weight. But who cares? Because I had a bigger picture that I'm dealing with. Like, I needed to heal something.
Yeah.
And finally, when I started eating plant-based and doing yoga, like I do yoga at least 3-4 times a week, at least. Finally, those last two things, and I've been doing yoga for a long time, but it's like to set an intention and to do it with love. I don't do yoga for homework. I don't do yoga because like I need to exercise, because I do it out of love. Like, so doing yoga out of love and eating plant-based, I feel I'm completely on the other side of the eating disorder.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to this intention that we've said of just honoring ourselves and remembering who we are at our very core, which is, you know, this very pure, this very sacred being. And yet, you know, you weren't honoring yourself by eating that way and by something, you know, constantly numbing yourself.
Right. Yeah, because...
But it's hard to get, it is hard to get there. I feel like I was even asking you, you know, how do we even get to a state where you recognize that there's something that's wrong, you know? And to be able to make a lasting change like that also is is not easy.
It's not easy. And you know, the last time I was teaching the yogic diet, I lived in Indonesia and then Kuwait, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm teaching the yogic diet, but I was still binging. And that was hard because I felt like this is not in alignment.
Mm-hmm, right?
Like,
you can't be the...
There's a problem here. So so then I let it go for a while. I let my business go, and I decided to, you know, I taught Saudi Arabian men full time when I lived in Kuwait, and that was awesome. It was a great job. And I'm an advocate for Muslims and Arabs everywhere that I go, because people, you know, they're just people too, and so it was awesome. Yeah, when finally, now that the issue is healed, now I can really teach the yogic diet because it's lived experience of healing.
Right.
You know? And some of my clients who work with me are having eating disorders as well, but most no. Most, like, you know, just want to be healthy. Or maybe they've had a problem with like a health scare, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just want to get healthy.
So the food piece of the yogic diet, and then also just, you know, I guess there's an element of food, but would you say that the mindfulness aspect helps fuel like the sustainability of eating well? Like, or do they all kind of interplay with one another? Is it all just kind of, you know, you can't have one without the other?
Well, I'm a part of a spiritual tradition, and in one of the courses, they actually had a course on food one time, and a friend of mine took it, and she said that the teacher said that it's even more important than what you eat is how you eat it. Right? So if we're shoveling and we're mindless about it versus, like, imagine like you're eating a peach, right?
Okay.
And you're eating slowly, the juices are dripping down your chin, like you're loving it, it's delicious, you're grateful, you're breathing, you know.
That requires you to be very present also.
It requires you to be present.
I can't type an email and then also eat the peach and have that experience.
Right. And you can't like be watching The Office on your phone.
That's right. Guilty. Also, Monique, should I add the rest of these onions into this, or would you say?
Add the white ones.
The white ones, okay.
And then the green ones will have on top.
I've left the green ones.
Oh, you chopped really quickly.
Well, I'm the one asking the questions, so.
Cute.
And oh my God, this tofu, the tofu curls look like they are soaking in that marinade.
I know, right?
Yeah, there was a lot more at the base of the bowl, and now that we've added these curls, they've just kind of soaked it all.
They've soaked it all in.
Soaked it all in. Okay.
You're getting hungry?
I'm like ready to try this.
Almost there.
Beautiful. So you can see this is just a bowl of beautifully colored veggies. Lots of oranges and greens right now. So.
Yes. And the zucchini and the bell peppers. That yummy green. So are we ready to cook this?
Yeah, so now it says, fish out the soy curls from the marinade and add it to the pan. Cook for 4 to 5 minutes to brown some edges. You can also toss the marinade soy curls in the cornstarch for crispiness, and then add the peppers and the veggies to the mix with some salt and cook for 2 minutes.
So you said we're going to cook these first, right?
Yes, exactly.
For 4 to 5 minutes. And add the veggies.
Mm-hmm. And then add all these veggies to the mix and cook for an additional 2 more minutes.
Okay. And then there's a last piece is that marinade, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to mix it with some cornstarch.
That's correct. Exactly.
And then we'll like cover the dish and let it sit for a bit as it cooks a little bit more.
Let it thicken.
Exactly.
Pull out the flavor. Perfect.
Add a little cooking oil, sugar.
I'll tilt this, you can see.
With the garlic. And so my husband's Chinese, and he always tells me that I need to cook the garlic until it's a little bit more toasty. You know, like
Not the aroma of the garlic.
And even like not burned, but like you can start to see that it's brown, a little bit brown. So
I just love the smell of garlic.
all right, so should I just use my hand?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay.
Let's feel our food.
Love that sound. All right.
Look
We
at
still have
that.
some marinade left.
So now we're just tossing. Ooh! You get a whiff of that spice too from the sambal, which is really nice.
So, Ronnie, while you're cooking that,
Okay.
they actually want the onion in here. Sorry, I gave you the wrong instruction.
Oh, inside here.
Oh, great. Give you some.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to go ahead and cook some sesame seeds to put like a garnish on top.
Garnish.
Yeah.
We're fancy over here. I love it.
So we're going to cook these until they're a little bit brown on the edges. So about 4 to 5 minutes.
And we don't add the cornstarch at this moment or a little bit later?
That'll be later.
Got it.
So do you think you would ever be vegan?
I mean, if every dish is as good as the dishes you make, I would strongly consider it. It does require work. I feel like, well, and I think anything that is good for you, there's an element of having to, take the time to cut the veggies and cook the food versus one of those like cold, pre-refrigerated microwavable meals. So,
right.
And that's, I think, part of the struggle for me sometimes. It's just I want something fast. Sometimes I just want a fast meal, but I like the idea of just knowing that everything is whole.
But you were already vegetarian, right?
I was for a period of time, and then I started eating seafood again.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Bless you.
All the spice of the sambal, you're really taking it in. But I like spicy food, so Monique, you know that. Yeah, so I eat seafood, but I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to do more with more plants, if you will. Because I can tell that I don't feel as good when I have a lot of dairy, even when I eat a lot of bread for that matter. So
Yeah.
And this is kind of changing my mind around soy, to be honest, because I was also one of those people that thought that, I've got to limit my intake on soy.
Right.
So let's see.
Well, yeah. So you can definitely have it as a part of your regular diet, But I think it's like, again, it's like we're talking about cooking versus processed, soy hot dogs or
Right.
something, right? So are we ready to add this?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful. All these veggies. You guys see how beautiful that is.
And they said like a pinch of salt. So.
Awesome. This is a nice deep walk. I need to. This is great.
So I'm mixing the cornstarch into the marinade, and then we're gonna add this and cover for about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, we also need a quarter of a cup of water, so let me do that.
So we're using the same marinade that we had soaked the tofu in.
Mm-hmm.
We added some water and some cornstarch. Okay. All right. Wow.
So once you get that
Mix
kind of
it.
mixed in, we'll cover it.
All right. I think it's a little bit more.
That's good. So let me cover it. One thing I've loved about the whole food plant-based diet is that starch is encouraged. So kind of getting away from that whole low carb mindset. Right. Again, it is like whole grains, like brown rice or oatmeal, right? Yeah, because the more processed the grains are, that's going to be a problem too, right? But I love that.
You don't feel like you have to police yourself.
Yeah.
When it comes to eating.
Yeah. And I was telling my family the other day, like, because they know about my past and my, I was telling them that, like, when I sit down to eat, like, I can eat until I'm full and I don't even think about it anymore. It sounds so simple. Like, like a little child will go towards the food and sit and eat until she's full. And it is so, but then like, it
For
can
us,
be
it gets
so
more complicated. Yeah.
So yeah, there's this freedom piece that I feel that's amazing.
So I feel like that's not been the case for the majority of your life.
Right.
There's like this freedom that you found with food.
Yeah. And like, I laid the foundation of the meditation for 25 years and the, yoga practices and yoga philosophy. And that was sort of like the base.
Right.
And then building up into hatha yoga, right?
Right.
And then the final piece was the plant-based and mindfulness. And mindfulness, I have to be honest, I'm still working on it. Because sometimes it's hard to be present when you're eating and, chewing slowly.
Right. No, I get that. I'm gonna have to practice the mindfulness and chewing. Monique, you can help me with that process. But yeah. We can probably practice with this as well. So
yes.
it's wonderful.
So are you excited?
I'm
About the dish?
literally, my mouth, you guys can't tell this, but I like, what do they call that in bio? Like salivary amylase. Like I feel like I'm just beginning to, like I could just, the whiff of this is producing, I'm just ready to go. Also really hungry, so. And we've got sesame seeds as well in here.
Yeah, I toasted some little sesame seeds.
Okay, okay.
And we have the rest of the green onion garnish.
Oh my gosh. This is General Toe.
Do we think we're at 3 to 4 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh. Well,
The spice?
the spice is good.
Okay.
I'm all about it. I think we should, I think maybe like we're ready.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Guys, that heat and covering it did wonders.
Do you see the thickening?
It's thickening. Oh my God.
All right.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's just leave it covered a few more seconds.
Okay, sure.
And then we will add in the garnishes.
And so this could go well with, like you could have this with noodles, you could have this with rice, I'm
Yes,
assuming.
you could have it with noodles, with rice. Yeah.
It makes for like a good lunch or dinner
Exactly.
option.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Was it hard to make?
This is so simple. It's like chop some veggies, soak some tofu curls in a marinade, cook it.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Exactly.
Which I'm about. I'm about very simple recipes.
I find that,
packed with flavor. It has to have flavor, Monique. So I'm, that's the only thing.
Okay. So let's put these little guys on.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to bring this closer to you guys just so you can see how beautiful that looks with the garnish.
And then the green onion.
And the green onions. That's gorgeous. Wow. And it's a little crisp. Like some of the soy curls have some crispiness to it.
Yes.
So that looks great. Look at the plating of our beautiful bowls. They're gorgeous. Topped with some sesame seeds on a bed of rice.
On a bed of rice.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
What do you think?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna scarf this down. This is so good. It's just like there's so much flavor in each little strip, if I can call it that, like a tofu strip. But it's chewy. I mean, like you said, I feel like it's almost kind of like a chicken texture.
It has a chicken chewy texture.
Not that I need the chicken.
Right.
This in itself is amazing.
But it's nice to like have a dish that you're familiar with, that you love, that you're used to buying,
right?
And are used to making, and you can still have the texture and the flavor, but it's plant-based. And I love how creative plant-based cooking is, making cheese, like cheese sauces with cashews and nutritional yeast, right?
Right.
It's been fabulous.
And I love Chinese food. But every time I go and I get takeout, I kind of find myself just like, okay, I'm done with the rest of the day. And I feel like this is just the right amount of veggies. We know the ingredients that we put into it. It's very simple. It's got the right amount of spice.
How about the sweetness?
The sweetness is perfect. So that coconut sugar added a lot of warmth to this dish, and it's not like overpowering the dish. It just complements it really nicely. Well, okay, Monique, this is great. This is really, really awesome.
Yeah, I just want to wrap up by saying that, life is such an interesting journey that sometimes like something that you feel is a big problem or something heavy, that you can actually by focusing on it and healing it, and however you get there to heal it, that you when you get to the other side, you know, you become a master teacher of that topic or that thing. And then you can really serve humanity, you know, by helping others with their journey.
So kind of going back to just trusting that inner guidance, trusting your inner self in that process. I certainly feel like I have work to do in that space to even find
we all do
what's right. But
yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a great first step in terms of honoring that part of myself, just by feeding myself well.
Exactly.
Like,
right? What a step. Like,
I already feel like kind of pampered when I have a meal like this.
Exactly.
It's like delicious.
Exactly.
Delicious, you guys. Like 100% make this dish. We'll call it General So's or General Toes or General whatever you want to call it. But it's pretty phenomenal. I'm gonna have another bite.
If you go to the free app Whisk, and you type in the yogic diet, you can find this recipe on it. You know.
Wow.
So I put about almost 260 whole food plant-based recipes
on Whisk.
So that's just a free app. So have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your awakening week. And we'll see you soon.
Really, what is life? What is death? What am I doing here? Who am I without?
I sat up in bed and I realized in that instant of sitting up in bed and breathing, I went, like this breathing in air. I realized I hadn't been breathing the whole time that I had been in this experience. And I made that sound so loudly, it woke Tony up, and he sat up and said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't know, but my life will never be the same again."
It got bigger and bigger and brighter until it was filling in every direction, and it was made up of lights and flames and white, and just got closer and closer, and then all of a sudden it hit me.
But suddenly there was like this kind of like this portal just opened, that there I could just sense that I have access to all the information in the universe.
So I had like this very deep connection with my team, offered up this prayer, and within like 2 months, my entire life fell apart. So, you know, spirit doesn't mess around. When you ask, it is always given.
And then in that dream, I understood that what I am is mirrored throughout the whole cosmos, that I'm part of all of that. I am literally part of everything in the cosmos, and all of that is part of me. It can be seen by me through these mirrors. And so I felt like this web of life, you cannot unplug from it. You cannot get out of it. No matter what you do, you are in it, and it is glorious. And all of that energy and potential and creativity and possibility is ours. And that all of the universe is reflected in our very being, in our very selves. And everything that we are is reflected throughout the whole universe too. There is no separateness. There is no such thing as anything being separate.
2020, what a ride. My life is 100,000 times better than I ever imagined it could be.